is where you guys gotta be smooth. Don't break my...
How's it going, guys? My name is Jason and this is Learn, Build, Repeat. In my last video, I mentioned that I was moving into a new house and it's finally happened. I was waiting for about 2 years to move to this house and I'm so excited, which means right now I am standing in my new workshop, otherwise known as a 2-car garage. And that means I have a ton of stuff to build and to show you guys, both in the shop and in the house. This means in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys the shop I bought, some tools I need to unbox, cleaning everything up and getting things set up, and then some initial project work. So hit that subscribe button and let's get started. So what you're seeing here is the aftermath of the movers, pretty much just taking everything in my old shop and dumping it into this one. Complete mess, but this is how it always starts. And you can see there's a ton of lawn equipment scattered about and various knickknacks. These all need to go. I want this shop dedicated to woodworking and woodworking only. But for now, I'm gonna have to deal with it because I need to start cleaning and getting things prepared. One thing I'm super excited for in this new shop is the 220 volt outlet right here. It's on a 50 amp breaker, so it has lots of power and it's currently hooked up to my Tesla. I will eventually split this so I can both charge my Tesla and run a 3 horsepower table saw. Okay, with that quick tour out of the way, let's start cleaning. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the light in here is absolutely terrible. So one of the very first things I'm gonna install in this new shop is shop lighting. So it comes with a ton of connectors. I think they all connect to one another. I think I should have 10 of them. Yeah, I have 10 of them, and what they do is they just connect. So I need to mount them at equal distances on the roof. I think I'm only gonna use 9 of them, and then maybe I'll use 1 for something else. And then that should eliminate all the shadows that you see on my face right now. So first things first, I'm gonna install these and then we're gonna see how it looks. Okay, there they are. They're very bright, which is perfect. That's what I'll need in this shop. I'm not sure I like how they're individual LEDs and there's no diffuser, but I'm just gonna put them in and see how they look in the end. I'm sure they'll be fine once they're up there. So let's mark out evenly where they're supposed to go on the roof and let's install them. I just have one more connection to make over here and then I will show you guys all of the lighting all turned on. So the lights are in and it is way brighter in here. Perfect for project work and for filming YouTube videos. One thing you may have noticed though is there's a little bit of an echo in here, so I need to do something about that. So I have bought these sound dampening panels that I'm now going to install on the walls. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, you're real bad Okay, I have 4 panels in and I'm hoping that the echo is a little bit better. I won't know until I actually go back and listen to the recording, but you guys will know right now. I actually kind of suspect 4 is not enough, so I left space for 4 more on the side here. And then, of course, I could be placing them all around. Hopefully it doesn't have to get to that, but we'll see. Okay, so on to the next thing. And this is coming into play right here. This is gonna be the nursery in our new house, and this ceiling is perfect for a wooden beam. So I bought a bunch of this white oak that I'm going to put together and lift up here somehow to create a beautiful wooden beam. The first step in this process is just measuring how long the beam has to be. This is way harder than it looks because at the peak, it's about 16 feet above my head, and that is a long way up. And to measure it with a tape measure is quite hard. I ended up just measuring it in sections and then just adding it together. I could have just measured it at the bottom of the room, but I know these walls aren't completely straight, so it might not give me an accurate answer. And as it turns out, the beam has to be 124 inches long. This means I need to buy 3 15-foot lengths of white oak. I couldn't buy any smaller because the place I'm buying from doesn't let you have cutoff that's less than 6 feet. And when you're buying boards this long, you're gonna have some knots. So here I am, filling in one of the knots with some black epoxy. This actually turns out to be my favorite part of the beam later, so I'm actually quite happy with it. And while that's drying, I'm gonna use my Festool track saw to cut everything down to the same length, leaving it a little bit oversized. All right, and here is how the beam is gonna be built. I'm mocking up how the boards are gonna be laid out, and then I'm gonna be using some of the cutoff that I just created to add baffles to the center of these beams. I'm going to cut those using my new miter saw that I mentioned earlier in the video, so let's start unpacking it. And I gotta say, once I got it out of the box, my first impressions were very favorable. It is big, it is heavy, and it has tons of power. After reading the instructions and making sure the cuts were square, I started cutting those baffles I mentioned previously. It was at this point I realized because I wasn't actually doing miters on these corners, I was just doing butt joints, the beam was going to be taller than it was wide, and I wanted it to be completely square. And because I don't have a table saw, I had to use my track saw to trim off about 1 inch from each of the side beams. This was kind of tricky because my track wasn't long enough to cut the entire length, so I very carefully manually lined up the cuts, and it was almost perfect. With the boards cut down to size, it was time to start laying out where I wanted the baffles to go. The baffles would play an important part because, as you can see, some of these boards are a little bit warped. So these would hold everything in place and make everything nice and straight. My joinery method of choice here was pocket holes. I was just going to use pocket holes to screw into the bottom and the sides, reinforcing with glue to keep everything stable over the long run. I laid everything out and started assembling. I let the glue cure overnight before coming back and sanding from 80 grit all the way to 400 grit and finishing with a coat of polyurethane. Here you can see me scraping and then sanding the epoxy to make sure that it was perfectly smooth. Also, in some places, that top board was just a little bit wider than it needed to be, so I came back with a flush trim bit on my router and cleaned everything up. Okay, now that the beam was built, it was time for the most challenging part of this project, and that is lifting it 16 feet above my head and attaching it to the ceiling somehow. At this point in this project, I wasn't sure how I was going to accomplish this, but I had some rough idea. I was going to add some blocking to the ceiling that I could push the beam up into when I got it up there, and then use some hooks and some rope to somehow pull it up. Here you see me screwing in an eye bolt into a 2x8 that will be the blocking that will go on the ceiling. This will actually fit inside of the beam, it'll be completely hidden, and then I attach an anchor to the actual beam. And with all that done, I move it into the nursery. And here's what it looks like when I'm installing blocking. I measured these out so I wouldn't be hitting the baffles in the beam itself, and then I put 4 of these blocks across the top of the ceiling so it was very secure, making sure to hit studs on every single screw. So there's going to be 4 supports for this beam up there, screwed into the studs. If one of them can hold on half, I think 4 of them should be more than sufficient to hold it and keep it safe. So I'm gonna put the other ones in, and then we're gonna try and lift the beam up. Unfortunately, the audio for this part is absolutely terrible, but here I'm explaining that I'm gonna do a little weight test to make sure that thing is not gonna just fall off the ceiling. Essentially, I just rigged it up with this little rope and then stand on it. I put about 50 pounds of downward pressure. I did this a couple times on and off camera, and nothing ever budged. So after this, I figured let's do a lift test and keep going. So I realized that these little ropes that I've set up that are looped through those hooks way up there, I'm not sure if you can see them, probably not gonna do it because I'm gonna have to raise and lower this thing many times to get it just right. So I bought these guys. These are block and tackle. I have 2 of them for each of the hooks so that I can raise and lower it with ease. It's 8-to-1, so it should be very easy to raise. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse while I get these installed. See you in a bit.
I can't believe how you lied to me. I guess I should have known, but I was blind. Now I can see you're dead to me. You're dead to me. My friends, they told me I could do much better, that I should try and overlook the pleasure. Now I wanna forget you. Tell me how to forget you.
Okay, I have it set up. I actually had to do 4-to-1 because if I did 8-to-1 on the block and tackle ratio, or whatever it is, I actually didn't have enough rope. I'm sure 4-to-1 will be more than plenty since I have 2 of them. So I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna do it the first time with you guys, but here's what it looks like. All right, let's try my first lift.
'Cause I don't want this complicated life. I just want my time back, and I want you gone. I want you gone tonight. Just leave me alone. Why won't you leave me alone? But in the early times when you were being kind, I didn't get the chance to see how you manipulate my mind. And now I've got this chance to run away and hide. I wanna get the fuck away, I want a second chance at life. So don't say that you're cold, 'cause I'm done with your cold. 'Cause I don't want no complicated life. I just want my time back, and I want you gone. I want you gone tonight.
Okay, that was the test fit. I didn't show you guys what was going on up there just because I only have 2 hands and I needed both for the wire or both for the rope, so I couldn't move the camera. But I'd say that's a fairly successful first test fit. I just want to see if it would actually work, and I want to see if the rough length of the beam was correct. And it looks like it is. I'll probably have to trim it about 1/2 inch, I think, but it looks like it's pretty good. But now I'm gonna need some help because I need to be up there at the same time as people are pulling on these ropes. So I'm going to call some friends and we're gonna continue this. We're live.
It's gonna be a great show.
The lighting's fantastic in here.
Just his nose approach.
All right. So it will just fit. So the plan is you're gonna raise your side like maybe 5 feet higher than Sam's until we get to the window and we can slide it in there.
Okay.
Then I'll go up on the ladder and do the stuff up top. But we're gonna pause it when it's over my head just for a quick thumbnail.
And then we're gonna drop it.
No, we're not.
Get it better than that.
Can you, is it too hard for you to lift? Did you got it? You got it, okay. You're gonna lift way faster than him now, by the way. This is where you guys gotta be smooth. Don't break my window. All right, I'm gonna go up the ladder.
Hold on, son.
All right, now you guys gotta even out because the rest of the way it's gotta be almost dead. Go straight up and down. Keep going, Sam.
You wanna go a little higher before we do that?
No, you're perfect right there.
Going up.
Yeah, keep going up soon. Alright, that should be about even right there.
You could do it in the middle and be able to get there.
Yeah.
That's as much as it's got. It
Does
doesn't
it
even
have to reach?
No, it doesn't even reach the bottom. So I haven't mentioned it before, but I'm going to actually install a chandelier on this beam when it's all done. And right about here is when I realized that the wire from the ceiling wouldn't be long enough to actually get it through that hole, that little white thing that you see. So we actually had to take it down at this point and extend that wire before doing another lift.
Wash the window.
Alright, I think we're good. Come on, come on.
Actually, what you can do.
We also realized that the block and tackle system wouldn't quite get the beam high enough. So here we are removing the pulleys in order to loop the rope a couple times through the hooks in order to get the leverage we need.
It's gonna be vertical to horizontal.
Sorry, what is?
The rest coming out.
Good explanation. Adam,
So,
you want to say something?
Just don't do this.
Alright, so home kids.
You guys ready?
You said it, it's definitely not.
Okay, now it's time for round two. I had used an extension cord to extend the length of the wire coming from the ceiling, and I had actually threaded through the hole to begin with. So now, time for another lift.
Oh!
Just put this in here.
I mean, how much do I have to give you guys?
You don't need to support it at all, it's just whenever we
I think it pulls pretty easy.
yeah.
You know, I'm an idiot. I actually have to go to the center, but let's keep going up until we get high
We
enough.
gotta get in a position first.
Yeah.
So once it's up above, then I pull mine up.
Yep.
So you go, you gotta go up with yours.
No, I'm making level.
It's gotta be level.
Keep going up now. He's gotta be level.
Okay.
This is, you know what these little babies are?
The world's greatest invention.
Yeah, they are. They're gonna save my life here. And before pushing it all the way to the ceiling, I use these little Wagyu connectors to connect it to the extension cord.
Well, if you go up here, you can still pinch this.
I actually can't believe this is actually working. So engine off. That's a lovely sound. Alright, we're good.
I mean, I'm still gonna stay up here for a little bit, but
Okay, come down.
okay, let's not.
Give me a screw, give me a screw, give me a
screw.
So it was all going pretty well up until this point. We were able to get one side in with the screw into the blocking, and now we moved on to the other side. But this is where we ran into a problem. One of the blocks, the far left block, was a little bit out of line with the other ones, so I had to use my Omni saw to trim off about a ½ inch of it while it was still attached to the ceiling, with all that debris and sawdust pretty much just falling right in my face.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
Nice, it's in.
Alright. Wait. Okay.
Fortunately, I don't have any fucking screws.
Wait, there's like 6 barks up here. Was I going through the wrong one?
I'll check later, I'm not sure. Oh, you might be. Sorry. I need a screw.
Here,
I got one.
yeah, I got it. It's in here.
Did you go through the one, like, where's your hand at? Where the
You got it? Hold it.
Yeah, I got it.
His right hand is right under it.
Dang it, I didn't go into it, and I used the wrong marks.
That's okay. We can fix it.
Nobody's gonna see the screws from down there.
Yeah.
And just like that, both sides of the beam were in and secured with screws. Next step would be to go through all the blocking and add a lot more screws to make it nice and secure. But I just want to give a big shout out to Sam and Andrew for helping this. This actually took about 3 hours to do. I edited it down quite a bit so it doesn't quite seem like that on camera, but this was a ton of work. And I know it may not look like it, but we were a long ways up. The ceiling is about 16 feet tall and we were 2 guys on top of a very tall ladder.
Oh, that's a lovely sound.
How's it going, guys? It's the next day. The beam's in, I put the chandelier in, and I've even trimmed out the little edge pieces, and it looks fantastic. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I will show you some B-roll in about 3 seconds. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for updates on the channel. Thank you guys, and see you next time. Almost forgot. Big shout out to Sam and Andrew for coming over here and helping me lift that thing up. It took about 3 hours to get that beam up there, and it was quite the ordeal. So thanks, guys.